everybody. Main man Squanto here. Alright, so building this bookshelf for my daughter. Try to get all of this in as good as possible for you guys. So we have I tried to post the beginning of this on a separate video, but it didn't go. So just kept saying it was loading, but then it never loaded. So I'm gonna find the top of each one of these. Okay. Okay, get the router in here. Slide that vacuum right out of the way. Get the roto zip. I'm not going to tie it. that's the bottom. And I put a small T in the middle so I know where the top is. It's just the preferred top of the board. There we go. that edge down. Before we do our build, but I have to sand this down. So now, get this cleaned up. And this can be put back. We're just going to clean it up a little bit. So, I have to wait. Why did I thought I sanded all this. Telling you. I gotta sand all this down real quick. Sand these down, then we'll mark them all up, glue and tack them together. We'll throw some clamps on them, leave them overnight, and we'll have a beautiful shelf in the morning. You really want that glue to cure up real well, and there's no sense to rush it, so I just like to leave them overnight. straight edge, frame and square, get a rag. We need our nails, trim gun, rag for the glue. Should be a wet rag. There's some moisture in there. What else? We'll need our clamps as well. But let's get this. Let's get this somewhat laid out here. I'm gonna put this vacuum back. Now we can get to the good stuff. So, this is reclaimed wood. It was just given to me. This is the top. This is the bottom. We're gonna have to make some marks on, we'll have to mark this up. We'll find our verticals, mark those up. Thinking about using my speed square. But I don't think it will actually grab. It'll be good enough and it'll be formal, at least on our horizontals and verticals here. So, pretty sure we gave this an exact inch difference. But let's find out the actual, that way I know the offset. It is just a heavy inch, so I can go ½ inch. Being ½ inch. Good fat ½ inch there. Looks good for my house. So now we just want to mark, now that we have these squared up to each other, they're both a story, so I'm going to make a mark on both boards and they will just come out square. So, we want to step in a little bit to give this an accent. All going to ride on these. No, those are my birds. It's going to ride on these. These are what? Oh yes, we have to cut these down. So, I haven't cut these down yet. And now that I'm looking, I can actually get a good feel on where I want it. I'd say I want my inners to be about right there. That would be nice. So, say an inch and a quarter. Inch and a quarter. It's 2.5. 2.5. 48, 45 and a half. So these both need to be 45 and a half. Stop hitting those. These are my verticals. We'll mark these in a second. I'm going to place these against this one so it stops moving. And I'll be able to make some marks. Let's go cut these at 45 and a half. Thanks for watching, guys. I need to shave and I need a shower, but I appreciate you guys checking this out. It's for my girl, she's an 11 now. Oh, it'd probably help if you can see the saw, right? All right, we'll cut these at 45. Check this out. I want to show you guys this. I don't mean to get off topic, but I'm building an apartment right now. And I just built these shelves yesterday. So there'll be a bigger shelf right here that will link up just like this smaller shelf did. Look how pretty that is, right? It kind of gives the, you know, it'll look good, especially once that bigger lower shelf comes in. So I'm just trying to get everything done, and I'm only one man. I have Robert come in every now and then. All right, that's my bad side. 45 and a half. That's actually my bad side, but I have a real bad knot here. How about I take a little bit off each end? That cut was pretty big, so I'll take this off. 'Cause that's pretty nasty right there. Now I'll pull 45 and a half and take that. That is what I had to super glue earlier. Look at that. It almost takes that whole knot off. Beautiful. Let me just check. This will be very important. Right there. It's right on my line, but I had to make sure I was either going to leave the line or take the line. I'm just barely going to take this line. Lovely. Get all the crud off. Now we have two exact same length boards. And now we can go install them. So look at this. See how I offset the top? So the one that's standing up is the top, and the one that's laying flat is the bottom. And we round it over both. So the bottom shelf will stick out a little more, and it's a little wider. The top will kind of be a little more narrow, but it'll look good. And then I'll put a little piece going across just as like a fascia style in the front and the back, actually. That'll dress it up a little bit. We're just making do with what we have, that's all. Just making do with what we have. just somewhat. All right. So now we have it instep to 1/2 inch. Little heavy on that side. 32nd to a 64th of an inch, but I think I got it. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so now 45.5. Inch and a quarter. So we're literally gonna mark it right here at 1 1/4 inches. And 1 1/4 inches. Lovely. And the X will go on the inside. And that is where our verticals will be. No. The hell am I saying? I have to cut these down even more. I gotta take another 1.5 inches off of them. Holy crud. So I had to dissolve my math while I was trimming these out because I found some inferiority. So my legend ended up throwing me off. But I got everything I could out of this top and bottom. This whole project revolves around this top and bottom. So I just said to hell with it, I'll do the math later on that. That's fixed. Now we know that. Now we just got to mark out. I have my story there, so we're good there. I'm also going to have to build the face on the top. So now we're going to story out our verticals. That looks like a good outside edge. And this looks like a good outside edge. Okay. Good enough. So that's that would be the inside. That's the inside. Where's the top? Okay. All right, those are squared up. So we're going to give it a foot. So every foot. So that's 12. Then we'll need 24 3/4. So that should be 12 3/4 as well. That's okay. The sconce will make up for it. I probably should have made that even longer now that I'm going to put this facial sconce on there. Anyway. So we have that marked out. Now I have to make my square marks to run the boards. And that will sit on top. Almost gonna have to go get my vise soon. I'm using 2-inch. 2-inch is a little heavy, but it gets the job done. I couldn't find any 1 3/4. All I have, I think, is 1 1/4, 1 1/2, and then 2-inch. But 1 3/4 would really be probably better. So these are my horizontals. Should I round over my other shelves? No, I'm gonna keep those square. It'll be like old school, I guess. I don't know, maybe it's new school. Maybe this will look silly, I don't know, but I'm gonna try to make it look as pretty as I can from a baby girl. All right. So now let's just lay it out. Just lay it on out now. Remember, this is reclaimed wood. We can paint it, we can sand it down later. I can't stand for that though. That didn't get sanded. Should I just put the, yeah, I'll make it match. I'll put the nice clean edge on the outside. I weren't going to, but at least it'll look formal. So that's the bottom. This is the top. Ooh, I'm gonna run out of room. Can you guys see everything? I'll move it back a little bit. That's a little better. Again, that's bottom, and this is the outside. I need to square the edges down here. It's really different to do the job and teach how you're doing it. I always forget stuff when I have to teach. I mean, I like to do it. It's something that helps me with my patience. And patience has been a lifelong, what do you call that? I won't say thorn in my side. It's been a lifelong lesson that I've needed to learn. So I guess teaching helps me learn patience. But it also creates chaos because I always mess everything up. And then I make myself look like a buffoon. Which shows that I have no patience. But anyway. That's just probably an insecurity, I don't know. So, making square lines. Pretty good for reclaimed wood. Not bad, not bad. I'll give it like a C. A for effort, but a C for everything else. Okay. We'll get this as square as possible, and then I'll start individually tacking each board as needed. I'm sure there's a certain way people would do this if this is all they did in their life is build shelves, but I'm just going to put it together as well as I can here. Wish I could see a little better. Got both lights on in here. Should probably put my line, I just can't see my line very well. I need to put a headlamp on or something. This purple is fading out my line, making it hard for me to see. Okay. So that's what the bookshelf will look like. I'll give you a here. See how I went thicker on the bottom and I made the top kind of come in a little bit. That's not bad, right? Give it a little outer lip, round it over the edges, and then we'll put a little tiny faceboard on the rear and on the face, just to kind of, it'll square it up a little bit, kind of like giving it a line up, in a way. Basically, just giving it a line up. That's all. I gotta move this a little bit. Alright. So, first things first, let's attach the sides. We'll get this H made, and then we'll put the top and the bottom on. Then we'll build my face, clamp it together, and call it a day. So, to do that, we're using glue and finish nails. That's a big one. I don't need a big one. Yeah. We'll get a smaller one here. Put a little moisture on it so I can wipe any glue off. We have moisture, and this just sits open in this vitamin water bottle. Keep it upside down, that way you have constant flow. But this is like a vacuum seal, kind of doesn't let it So what I do, I get a little bit of glue on my wood end fibers at first. Not much, but just enough. And all that does is creates like a flat, porous surface. So it sucks all the wood up. It sucks into the pores of the wood and creates a better surface to glue to. Just gives you a better surface to glue to. Just want to wipe it clean, formal. Always remember to bring a wet rag, because no matter how clean you are, you're still going to have glue go in places that you just don't want it to. And you can wipe it right off and it won't give you any problems. I even like to dab the ends when I'm in this process. You know what? I'm going to go around and do that to all of them. And that will just get them. Ooh, that was close. That'll get them ready to glue. You know, all those TikToks and all that stuff that shows how easy stuff is. Well, you gotta remember that a lot of that's edited out. And all of this stuff, the hard stuff, the stuff that isn't pleasant to the eye, isn't catchy, all that stuff's edited out. So, beginning YouTube guys like me, we don't have, I don't know, I could edit, I guess, and I did start editing a little bit, but I try to just get it all in one take. And it's like, whatever, you know, sue me, I guess. Alright, so I'll just go over here and prep these sides. What I'm trying to say is, like, all those people have to go through these steps too, and they just edit them out so that the video flows a lot easier. But we're live. This is very important step to do. You don't want a lot of glue. You just want enough to fill them pores and kind of make a flat surface. And that's going to prep that surface really well. Now, I'm not relying on this glue at all. This is the I shouldn't call him old, but I mean, he is 80 years old now. So it's kind of old, but. So we're prepped out, got all of our butt ends from our porous ends prepped. Now, like I said before, don't really need much. I'm not looking to soak it. The glue definitely is needed, but you don't have to go to the point where you're having an overload. Thing is you're always going to have a little mess, and that's why you want the wet rag, but try not to go too wild with it. Holy crap. Glue everywhere. Good thing it's water based and it wipes right off. Just making sure I had my crown up. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, I can't see my line. Oh. More nails. Finished my last job with one nail left in the stick. That's crazy. Okay. Make sure that's on its line. Man, nothing's square right now. They haven't even built the damn thing. I was just showing people what it looked like.
I tried wanting to do this, or like, it was so loud on YouTube.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah. Look at that baby. I just had it blow out. First, second nail I did.
She got mad at me when I put this on her, and I'm like, I'm outside, I have to do it.
In the fridge. Yeah, I just had a blowout. Already.
So, it's just moving stuff now.
Okay. No, it's just tacking stuff down. Alright. See, I would usually create a square jig for this. Like we did last time. And I'm about freaking ready to just get nailer blocks and tack it in. That's how I did it last time, and it held everything really well.
She can't pet you, bud. She don't allow.
So that's what I'm gonna do. I know it'll mess the table up, but if we ever use this table for any event, we'll just put a dang drop cloth on it.
Oh,
And this will hold this nice and square. Wow, that just shot. That just shot out of the table, broke in half, and clicked in the side of the. That's why I've never even seen that before. Holy smokes! I don't even know what. I need a piece of metal to roll against here. That's crazy. That's crazy. That bounced right off the table. But I don't know how it went into the side of the board back. Oh, it bounced off the table and and then head first into the table backwards. This was what went into the wood. That table's so freaking hard. That's solid. It's alright, I got one nail in there. That'll be good enough.
so you are making one.
What? Yeah, I ended up just going with my original plan. My original plan was to do this. Okay, can you find me my small speed square? Yep. I should be using my 1 1/4 inch. Alright, let's get this before that glue cures up. Okay, I can't see these lines at all, like at all. Who? What? Yeah. outside edge. Give that a tack. Now I can walk this down the line. Lovely. Suppose I can put another one in it. She didn't want a screw. That's what she said. She don't want a screw. Okay. Okay. So now my jigs are holding this in. Sucks I gotta do it to my table, but I should have thrown some plywood down, I guess. Be what it is. I used my old countertop last time. So let's do the other H. I should put another one in. Keep that nice and square. Just one will do. Bring this square over here, bring our jig material. This where it belongs. I can't even use that larger square. That was a square. So I have my lines here, and I can barely see that. That's crazy. All right, so I have that tacked in. I gotta clean that glue up a little bit, and I probably ought to grab a screw. You won't even see that glue when it's dry. It dries clear. All right, I'm going to grab a trigger screw. These are nice because they're number 8, so they're super thin. And they have self-tappers. They have a little bit on the end, so it pre-drills the hole for the screw. And you just suck this in. Of course, I went straight. I should have gone an angle. She found it at the end. Okay, I'll clamp that tight. We'll get it tight, trust me. When the clamps come out, she's gonna be sitting tight. Need the glue, rag, small little drink, some my setup anyway. I usually don't use this glue, but this was gifted to me, I believe. Either that or it was just there at the store. But I usually use the green, it's like exterior. You can get it at Lowe's, but it really doesn't matter what wood glue you use. At the same time, it just doesn't. Glue is glue. Put a little more on the top. Okay. That's good. We got glue everywhere we need it. Of course, we're going to make a little bit of a mess. But can't really complain. See my line. Bring on my line. Face flush. Protect. That was brave, by the way. Okay. Ooh, excuse me. Tack this together real quick, and the biggest thing will be the clamps. You know, we got glue and nails. We'll clamp it tight. It'll squeeze all that glue. We'll clean as much glue as possible. I might even take it out of the jig, flip it around, clean it, and then leave it for the night. It's usually, I think that's what I did with my last one. So, let's square this up. Tack that in. Good and tight. So that'll be nice and square. Sandwich this tight. Hope that didn't go in the bowl. Nope. Alright. So, let's find our line. Do this attack. Finger flush at the top. So that was a close one, mate. Okay, let's find our line. Lovely. Double check. Okay, basically just a race to get this tack together so I can clamp it and get it tight. And we can do as many jigs as we want to do after that. So that should square up. Square that little fucker up. Oh, and that even brought that in. So that's all that other one was doing as well. Nice. Let's check that. Yeah, that other jig really held that nice and square. Okay, so I have lines here. We have to, oh, I forgot to prep this side. Or did I? No, she prepped. So I'm just dabbing glue in the dead center. Remember, gravity will prevail. I try to get it a little formal if I can, just to work out any weird bumps. Oh, I forgot that's going to stick out just a hair. I'll pull that tail off. So I try to just reuse whatever I pull off with my finger. Even when I'm painting or caulking, anything, just try to reuse it, put it right where it needs to be. That's the biggest thing. As you can see, I'm not really using much. I really like this applicator. They all have one, but this one specifically really holds a good vacuum. So you can hold it upside down, it won't squeeze. And that's why I have it in this gravity cup I kind of invented. You can put it upside down and it won't, you can leave it open and it won't release glue. Excuse me. Excuse me real quick. Okay. So, going right to our lines, we have a little trick down here. Lift that up, bring it up top somewhere. That's going to become a problem too. Okay. Alright. That's already a problem. Here we go. Bring it right to my line. Now I'm just going to see, check on both sides, and I'll give it the difference. Okay. to me all the time. They're like, "Are you gonna put that there?" Well, it's like, yeah, I'll put the shingles on once we put underlayment, drip edge, and ice. Are you gonna do that? Well, is that what you hired me for? I don't know. Am I capable? Should you have even called me? I don't know. It just gets comical. It's like, so you call the professional and then you question the professional while he's doing exactly what he told you to do. Like, holy crap, dude. Get a grip. Anyway, I don't think I prepped. Yeah, we didn't prep this, so we're gonna dab this. We're soaking this glue into the butt end pores. We're kind of giving it a little bit of time to kind of cure up. And that will give it a much better gluing surface when we actually go to adhere it. Don't need much, but you need enough to really make sure you're soaking into the pores and you feel basically a formal, slippery, you know, it feels formal the whole way. Doesn't feel dry at all. And we don't got to do so much that we're just like pouring it all over the place. Really kind of be a minimalist in this sense. Because really it's just a waste of glue, to be honest. And they say that glue is actually stronger than nails. So like a glue hold is supposed to be stronger than a nail hold. As long as it's clamped correctly, cured correctly, and applied correctly. Give that a moment to kind of cure up a little bit. I can preset this as well. So I'm just dabbing it, trying to get it to set up just a little bit, get it kind of dry. That'll give this side of the board good adhesion. That's good enough. It's nice and tacky. So now we're going to apply a good formal line. Glue right down the center of this butt end. I like to give just a hair more up top, and I think I went a little overzealous with this. But it's the bottom. It's going to have probably the most wear and tear. And I'll clean off the edges once we set this thing. Okay. It's nice hot air convection through here, so it's perfect for this. I'm just giving that glue a chance to kind of set up just a hair. Thinking, should I put something something to really clamp against here. Alright, we're ready. Find my lines. Yeah, my lines are somewhat seeable here. Yeah, that's right on point. Oh, what a donut. I just We got ourselves a beautiful little bookshelf. Now I can put the face on the top, which I think will make it look even better. So, let's do that. Excuse me. .3/16. 44 3/16. Just a little heavy. This is just a scrap piece from the earlier trim. Yep. Check this. I'm just not going to cut it to the point where it's too short. That right there ought to do it. And that will go just like this. Can you guys give me a preference? I mean, this would look better if it was thinner. But I really think I want you to at least do that in the back. Can you guys put in the comments? Oh, I only got 2 people up here. I had 12 and 1 now. It's a reclaim project for my daughter. Like, why would you talk like that? You kidding me? Philip Patton, show me that you do better, buddy. Show me that you do better. I don't know why you would say, yes, it's a rough job. It's a reclaim bookshelf for my daughter. And I did this with it, so. Maybe you said that a little earlier in the project and you got all boned up. You're a rookie and you don't understand that it looks rough at the beginning, but then you put it together and it's beautiful, right? So, I don't know. I should add something at the top. Probably not. I could just give it a Luan backer. That would look really nice. Just literally cut a Luan back for it. It would keep it nice and square. That's for dang sure. let's go get our clamps, our vices here. How is that a rough job, Philip Patton? How is that rough? Tell me how that looks rough to you. Yes, we knew we started the project with it being reclaimed wood. This wood was given to me, free, from a friend. I don't know how you could say that looks rough. I don't get it. I don't understand how it's rough. Now earlier when it was all scattered all over the table, yes, it was rough. That's probably when you said that, Philip Patton. But guess what? I was just showing the public what it looked like, that's all. So we're getting our clamps, vices. I don't even know if these are long enough. Probably not. Pretty sure I had to borrow some on a previous build. These always fall off. We'll just take 2 for now. Pretty sure I made my own clamp last time. A better lean, but it's not letting me. That's a little better. All right, I gotta go grab. Shut this door here. So we already have it jigged together. We have it literally sitting in a jig on the table. I don't know if this will, if it does, it'll just, no. Well, how did I do that last time? I know I solved this problem last time. I built a frame around it and I squeezed it and then I drilled the frame tight. That's what I did. That's exactly what I did last time. jig style. Push it together, use force. Wow, and that just went everywhere. We're done with the glue. Glue can go back. Back it all over the wall. A little bit. Okay. Yeah, that squeezed that nice and tight. Man, I wish Philip Patton could see me now. I don't see Philip Patton making videos like this. You gotta make a jig, let it cure up and get it tight. It's the only way to do it. I guess I shouldn't have shown everybody what I was doing. I was just making sure everything fit right, showing people how it was gonna look before I went and installed the thing. I had to put it together at least once, make sure my boards weren't bowing and everything was gonna sit flush. That jig needs to be moved. Let's see if I can tap this jig tighter. I'll put another couple screws in this. Nails, sorry. To be fair, I have had a stroke. Not proud of it, I'm just saying, ever since I messed up my words. Oh yeah, way tighter. Nice, nice. Let's see if we can do the same. Well, that was just not even, that weren't even tight. And Philip Patton, you're more than welcome to come and check any one of these angles. They're all square, buddy. Every single one of them are perfectly square. Okay? So, I don't know why you gotta run people down on the internet to make yourself feel better. Looks to me like everything's getting nice and tight. I see a lot of glue poking out now. See quite a bit of glue squeezing out of there. Seams are way tighter than before. Sorry, Philip Patton. I'm not finished enough for you. But I'd love to see your carpentry work, Philip Patton. I would love to see your carpentry work there, buddy. Keeps popping in and out. Camera, not square. Those are some nice tight seams. See if I can get this one even tighter over here. Oh yeah. Cool. We'll let that cure overnight. We'll let that cure overnight, and then we'll go install it right in their bedroom. Looks all right. Not bad. Not bad at all. Thank you for watching, everybody, and that one person, probably Tink. Like and subscribe, Philip Patton. Show me some square videos, Philip Patton. Main man, Squanto.